In this episode we head out to the Blue Crater once more to set up another factory for a very crucial part, the computer, bring the raw construction to life already, and much more. Yo! Hello everybody! Welcome back to Prone to Play and my Let's Play series of Satisfactory. In the last episode we upgraded our steel factory to version 2 with new output, for example the 5 heavy modular frames, which was our main target, and also some excessive overflow currently. And today we are dealing with another part that is desperately needed, but we will come to that later. First of all, I want to give you some quick updates, what happened in between episodes and what we are currently dealing with. And I'm here at the edge of the desert for two things. First things first, I'm still owing you the production line overview for the Steel Factory version 2 that we set up last episode. So here you have the full picture with all the inputs, all the process parts and the streamlines where we eventually get an output of 5 heavy modular frame as well as currently 49 steel pipes, basically 25 steel beams, 3 encased industrial beams and 20 concrete. And this is, still subject to change in the future because we can use the overflow access there directly converted further, but not now because today, again, the scope will be different. The second thing for today is actually, regarding the uranium waste that Enel brought us and we are storing here at the edge, because I got the comment that I have the possibility to store it in the back of a vehicle and drive it off the edge. Basically, let it run in the outer space, in the rift, and let it disappear there. And although I appreciate the advice, I really would not recommend to do this because the vehicle will be no longer accessible or visible, but it will not despawn. It will stay somewhere in the save file with the uranium waste counting as a part, and while only a couple of vehicles will not be noticeable whatsoever, I think, the more you do this, the more it will affect your save file and the performance of this game. Because there's more and more parts generated and still have to be processed while they are not visible or not for any use anymore. And I Am Kibitz said this also on a reaction video on Let's Game It Out. I will link the source for this state or for this fact in the description so that you can double check it, but that's where I got this information from, and this is why I will not do this, and I will let this uranium waste remain here until we can proceed further with this by converting it into plutonium, for example. But this is again stuff for the future. Now I'm at our basic copper production that feeds wire and copper sheets to our central storage system, and I changed the setup here a little bit because in the very beginning we set up a wire construction over here with 2 constructors that further converted these into cables, but I cut off the connection to our central storage system because we have the excess overflow at our crystal oscillator being the input for our cable, and I didn't want to set up the second storage container for cable, nor did I want to mess up the storage system itself, because the inputs would have been from both sides and this was too complicated for me, so I cut off this one here completely. But now I changed the original wire construction into copper sheets, so now we have, in addition to the original 30 copper sheets per minute, another 15 that gets produced and transported to our central storage. Just if you are wondering where I get additional input, because now we are currently almost 30 copper sheets are getting converted into heat sinks, and this basically leaves no access for pipelines or whatever we have to build in the future. So I wanted to increase this output a little bit over here because this was sitting idle anyways. And this is how I did it, just so you know where the additional copper sheet is coming from. Alright, next up we made some changes to our basic refinement. We have currently sitting 8 refineries over here, 6 producing a total of 120 plastic going to our circuit board production, and the last 2 were producing 20 plastic and 20 rubber, which was originally going to the central storage right away. But now the plastic is getting converted into empty canisters, and here there were 3 refineries taking care of the heavy oil residue, converted into petroleum coke, which was getting synced in order to avoid any backlog. Now I changed one of the refineries to create residual fuel, and with this and the plastic being converted to empty canisters, we now have an output of 40 packaged fuel per minute, because yeah, we were using our original created packaged fuel without any restock, but now we are creating packaged fuel again for the time being, and this also made one of the 3 refineries obsolete, because now the amount of petroleum coke that has to be synced in order to avoid backlog is drastically reduced. I think it's only now 90 petroleum coke remaining instead of the, I think it was 270 originally or something like this. But I also did not have the motivation to make this place look better than it does. I know that the conveyor belts and the lifts is completely messed, but I think this place will be teared down soon in the future anyways. For now I will let this run because of the passive production, which is nice to have, but might be that this will be gone in the near future. Next up, we are at the steel factory, and I cleaned up this space over here and down below as well, where we converted the copper ore that's now completely untouched. For now this will stay this way. In the future we might add some more machines here, for example assemblers for stators or for motors or for automated wiring even, because we need so much more in order to finish the project parts. And we have currently, if we consider using Mark III miners, 480 copper ore available, then a little about 140 iron ore from this room over here, and then of course the excess overflow from the steel pipes, steel beams, concrete, and this gives us many opportunities for the future, but not for now. If we have more demand in the future for something else, we can make use of this again, but for now it stays empty. And I also want to give you an update about the current status of our side quest room, or our project part room, where we are currently passively constructing or manufacturing the project parts necessary for phase 4. And currently we have 2 assemblers. One is producing stators. As mentioned, we could also implement this into the steel factory directly, but since this takes so much time to convert a full container of steel pipes and wire respectively, this is just fine for now. And this one is converting stators and II limiters into electromagnetic control rods. Oh wow, I didn't mess this one up for once. Very nice. And the other manufacturers are producing adaptive control units, and even fully overclocked, 2 manufacturers can only put out 5 adaptive control units per minute in total. So this will take quite some time if we do not want to put these numbers up. But yeah, currently we have, I don't know if I already told you this, because I already wanted to give you an update in the last episode about this current status, but the episode was already so long that I had to cut this out. But we're actually done with our supercomputers for the director system, and now we are working on our adaptive control unit. And we have currently 676 adaptive control units done. So we might also start to build our first director systems very soon, because this will take another insane amount of time, similar to the adaptive control units, so why not directly convert these further into the final project part. And on the other side, for the magnetic field generator, we have long ago completed our versatile framework amount, and now we are working on our electromagnetic control rods, which are also almost done. We have almost reached the 4000, and we need 400 more for the final milestone. Yeah, another 94 done already. Let's actually restock the status and put this one into the storage as well. Yeah, less than 500 left to go. This is basically how I keep track on the progress. Yeah, we will have to address the batteries soon as well, but another possible project for the future. Yeah, but this is basically the current status of our project part room. So now you're up to date. And for our manufacturing room, I have set up another manufacturer again for computers. I think it went idle again, yeah. And I'm so sick and tired of restocking these manually over and over and over again. But still the demand for computers is so high for us that I decided that after finishing the Heavy Modular Frame factory, we now will set up a computer factory that fully automated produce. I think the target is 5 computers per minute. Nothing too crazy, but the basis for this, the foundation for this is already laid out in the Blue Crater, with more than 300 plastic per minute being produced over there. And we will use this as the foundation for building 5 computers, because I think if I have done the math correctly, producing 1 computer per minute equals around 60 plastic, considering the circuit boards and the plastic itself for the computer then. And we also have copper available in the Blue Crater, we have iron available in the Blue Crater, so I think this will work out. And I have not considered the factory layout or the definitive plan, but we will head over there soon. Maybe take the additional heatsinks over there, take a look on the current status for the parts that take nitrogen gas, how many we have produced of these now. We have another 1,000 here stored for harder times. We have now currently around 500 fused modular frames here and around 1,400 cooling systems. So yeah, these will cover our demands for quite some time, especially while being continuously produced in the background as well in the Blue Crater. But yeah, let's head over there. Enough talking for now and work out our plan for today. Alright, here we are at the Blue Crater, and without further ado, let's start with our project of today, the computer factory. And the plan is actually done in reverse right now, similar or in comparison to the steel factory, where I just started building and looked how everything turns out. Now I did it in reverse. I planned everything in beforehand. I will show you the streamline process now, so let me get it up on my second screen. And we are using 290 of the plastic over here. Then we take an additional 100 copper ore and 165 iron ore as an input for this process and smelt it into ingots, produce copper sheets and use the plastic for circuit boards for this, for the first part. Then we take the remaining plastic necessary as an input for the second ingredient of our computers. And then we make use of alternative recipes for quite some amount in this streamline process, because I was wondering how to set this up best. And I also prepared a little radar tower on this side to show you in a better way what's happening here and what my reasons behind this process setup are, because we need 200 copper ingots in order to produce 100 copper sheets for the necessary circuit boards over here. And copper is actually not that common in the Blue Crater. We have a normal node over here right in the corner. We have only the next one available is the impure node over here, and then a little bit further away is the copper ore over here, again a normal one. But I wanted to stay as close to the oil plant as possible in order to shorten the transportation for the plastic, but at the same time I didn't want to shove it into the edge over here, the next factory, so I opted for this space and work with 120 copper ore available from a normal clock speed Mark III miner, which gives us 120 copper ore, which is more than enough for the 100 necessary. And in order to not increase this input or the demand for our copper ore, I opted for the alternative recipe copper alloy ingot, which we have already, in order to mix iron ore, which we have plenty available in the blue crater. We have a pure iron node over here, which we do not need at all, 2 normal ones and another pure one over here, so we have basically infinite amount of iron ore available in the blue crater, and we will only need 165, which is already covered by 1 normal iron ore, and we will produce 115 iron ingots in order to also convert them into 90 wire with the alternate recipe iron wire, and then use the remaining ones in order to produce 260 screws with the alternative recipe cast screw, and the wire gets converted also into cable, and then we have all the 4 parts necessary for the computers, and the amounts sum up to 5 computers per minute being manufactured in 2 manufacturers. So this is the plan for today, and I already brought some parts over here as preparation. So let me go over there really quick. And you can see everything is almost full to its limit. And we will use this normal iron ore, and the copper ore is directly in front of us. I think it's up there. So yeah, the foundation will be laid out in this room over here. I already took care of the gas plants that were standing over here, as well as an artifact, which I had really trouble to find, but it was driving me nuts already, so I had to take care of this beforehand as well. And I will set the first foundation on pillars. Then there will be a logistics floor in order to solve everything out for the smelting and construction already. And then we have a first floor where smelting and constructing will take place, and another logistics floor, then a second floor for the assembly and manufacturing, and this will basically be the whole setup. So I think I will, try to progress as much as possible very soon. And enough talking, let's get started. Alright, that is foundations laid out, as well as the first floor and the second floor with the machines ready. Now we do have a visitor already, kind of inspecting if everything is correct. Let's do a quick check of the current status. Now the two miners are already on the right clock speed, but the logistics has to be laid out yet, so yeah, they're not connected to anything. But on the first floor, oh yeah, by the way, I also built a little stair hall that's not finished at all, but neither is the factory itself, so it's just to give a little idea. I wanted to embed it or encase it into the building itself rather than sticking it on the outside. And yeah, I just went with the layout of the already existing levels or the floors, which is why it's not steady, but in the end it will be encased in walls anyways, so this will not bother too much, I guess. Alright, on the first floor we start with 4 smelters, smelting iron ore into iron ingots, and the last one is a little bit underclocked. And this will be necessary for our iron wire, the current output of a total output of 90 iron wire. And then this will be further converted into 45 cables. And on the other side, the remaining iron ingots will be put into these constructors. The last one again underclocked. Oh, not yet. But I think this has to be on 10. So we have a total output of 260 screws. And on the other side of the floor we have 2 foundries, creating 200 copper ingots in total, and then 10 constructors in total, really close next to each other. I don't know if this will fit underneath with a conveyor merger in between, but if not, I simply have to go on the outside and do one way around. But yeah, we have a total of 100 copper sheet per minute as an output over here. And this will be merged, and then everything, the cable, the copper sheet, and the screws, excuse me, will be transported one floor up, where we have our assembly and our manufacturing. And I replaced these just a tiny bit. I erased the assemblers again, started with one being at the very center, moved it one tile further, or one foundation further into the building, and then on each side symmetrically placed the remaining 6 assemblies. So this is now in the dead center, while this being the center one. And then again symmetrical, we have our 2 manufacturers with the computers. And I think I also have to set up these again because I moved them. And yeah, the total output in the end of a total output of 50 circuit boards per minute. And on this floor we have the circuit boards, the cable, the plastic and the screws all merged together, and then 5 computers as an output per minute. And this is actually a very good result how this turned out, because now we have the plastic only necessary on one floor rather than having it to be split up on 2 floors. And also we have the logistics floors still in between in order to work out the logistics nice and clean. Yes, So far so good. I will also take care of some cosmetics once everything is laid out. The 12 by 12 foundation length and width of each level was just a wild guess from my side, but seems like it turned out kind of nice. So yeah, I think I will leave it for now in that size, but I don't know how the final look will be. I'm currently playing with the idea to make it look like a computer on the outside. So basically one... do I have a computer with me? No. But maybe we can take one of the container and take a look. So yeah, maybe it's possible to make the cube here look like a computer from the outside. I'm not quite sure if this will work or not, especially, yeah, because I have never done something like this, but I think it will be funny to have the computer factory look like a computer, like a giant computer, and yeah, putting out 5 computers per minute as an output. But before we will worry about the cosmetics, let's finish the logistics first and also hook everything up together to a power connection. I will do a power switch before or in between this grid and the main power network, so that we know exactly how much power is necessary in order to operate all the machines. So let me take care of this really quick and then we will see each other again. Alright, I decided to make a cut over here because I didn't want to make the logistics part too long and bore you. And as you can see, I finished most of the logistics for now. For example, setting the lifts directly to the machines, and also took care of the power lines for the first floor. And what I also did is I started to experiment a little bit with different foundation materials. For example, now here the walkways and where you can run is all coated concrete for the first time. And where machines are standing, it's asphalt, so that you have a more distinguishable look in between where machines stand and where you can run. And in the future I will definitely plan this beforehand, because I'm not satisfied with how the floor holes are kind of in between the different foundation styles, and I will definitely plan ahead when I do bigger buildings where to set down machines and where logistics will run, so that we have more clean edges. Maybe can run some railings and separate it more clearly. And for now this is still fine for me. For here this is not centered in the 3x3 foundations, which is now asphalt. So I take this as a practice run, and I'm still satisfied with the little bit of diversity regarding cosmetics. And you can also see that I did some color coding to everything down under regarding whether or not the machines are converting iron or copper stuff. I color coded appropriately. And here, for example, the assemblers that produce circuit boards have a dark green as a color grade, and here the manufacturers that produce the computers, I tried to match the yellow color grade as good as I can. Now, what we still have to do is I want to pull a roof over this place, and once this is finished I can also take care of the power lines on the second level. And I tried to set up different kinds of roofs on this place, but it's almost not possible to change any of the materials or colors. For example, the roof flat, if I try to color it yellow, it will not change whatsoever. And basically same goes for the tar roof. The only thing that will change is the frame. But I think I will follow the approach of making this place look like a computer, like a giant computer. And the tar roof, as you can see, is also not an option, because the only color that's changing is the one from the frame, but not the roof itself. But what will change is the color of a normal fixed roof. So even though the frame will stay black, I think it's still our best bet if we want to paint the ceiling as well. And I also thought about using concrete and color grade it appropriately, but I'm not happy with how this looks when colored, so this will not be an option as well. And I think we will go with the fixed roof. So I think I will draw the roof completely over this place, and then take care of the power lines on the second level as well. And then I think I come back to you really quick. Alright, everything is now connected, and I set up a power switch at the bottom of our stair hall. And you can see that the maximum consumption of this place is around 411 megawatts. I say around because this is not considering the underclocking at the moment, so it will be lower than this number, but for now everything is prepared. Almost everything, I should say. But I want to get this place going, so let's flip the switch, turn everything on. And although we have not finished the place yet, neither regarding cosmetics nor the finishing touch with the logistics, I want to get this place going, because it's about time that we increase our computer output. And I will explain the rest in a few seconds. So now the miners should start mining. Which they do. So let's head up to the first level. copper is arriving as well. And I did the same thing as I did for our central storage conveyor belt. For the bridge, I hid the power line in between two layers of foundations so that they are not visible and only appear again at the miner house. So I can avoid a visible power line over there. Now, these smelters for the iron already started smelting. So the iron wire and the screw constructors should start up any moment. And due to the way I laid out the logistics, the iron wire will take a minute longer because they are the last to receive iron ore, the smelters in this line. But only these two smelters here will provide the constructors for the wire with iron ingots. So yeah, once again the system will take some time until it balances itself out and will have a steady output. It seems like the copper ore has arrived as well. So let's check. I once again set up some beams for the power line setup. Not here though. I lost motivation once I did this, because I wanted to do a long beam all across the floor, but then I realized that it clipped through the foundries because they have a different size. But the first copper ingots are getting produced, and I hope, yes, this is the wrong lift. I'm missing reinforced iron plates. Always something that I mess up. Are these the last reinforced? Oh, okay. I hope I didn't make too many mistakes, otherwise I should better go back and restock. Let's check the lifts underneath. No, they are lifts Mark II. By the way, I also extended the width of this cubic factory setup. So from this side on the right and on the left I extended the foundations by 1 each. So now it's not any longer a 12 by 12 size, but a 14 by 12. And this is because the computer is not a cube, but it's a little bit wider than it's long or deep, I guess. Anyway, you get the idea. And yeah, I can afford this. We have plenty of space here left, so I decided to extend the foundations a little bit. And in case you were wondering, because we have not dealt with plastic at all until this point, you are absolutely correct. We still have to figure a way out how to get the plastic over here. But I prepared 2 containers with a little bit of plastic beforehand. And this should at least provide the assemblers and the manufacturers with plastic for around 48 to 50 minutes. Yeah, I think since the system is not completely running steady, it will take, I think, up to an hour. And do not mind, please, this clipping, because they are only very temporary, but the logistics floor are only 2 times a 4-meter wall, so 8 meter high, and the containers are too tall for our logistics floors. But yeah, this is how we will solve the problem for the time being. And I thought, instead of simply dragging a conveyor belt for the plastic to this place and dragging a second one back for the computers to bring to the train station, I thought it would be fun to set up a highway. And since we have a little bit of turbo fuel producing anyways, I already stored a complete container, so 4,800 turbo fuel in our central storage, and the next one should be full already. So yeah, we have plenty of turbo fuel to work with, and also kind of an automated setup for this. So why not make use of trucks for the first time and set up a little highway with a little bridge that brings the plastic over here, gets unloaded automatically, and yeah, via self-driving brings the computers back to the oil plant and to the train station for the Blue Crater, so that these will eventually get transported to our central storage. But since, yeah, this setup takes already so long, I didn't want to squish everything into one episode, so this is why I set up some storage containers for the time being, and we will deal with the highway and the truck self-driving setup together in the next one. But still, since we need plenty of computers, I wanted to get this up and running as well. And the first manufacturer, again, yeah, due to the logistics layout, these ones will get provided with plastic first, and the next ones in the line that are providing this manufacturer with circuit boards will take some time. But I think this was already our first computer being produced. Yes. Now again, since everything has to settle itself a little bit regarding logistics and load balancing, it will take some time, but we will need this time in order to fully set up this place regarding logistics anyways. But let me actually put up a foundation here so that we can see something. Here we have fully automated, kind of almost fully automated computers getting produced. So this will run in the background. Let me delete this again really quick, and since we will need the plastic on this place only anyways, I thought about maybe setting up an extension over here, but then again this would destroy the cosmetic of our factory in general with this looking like a computer. Maybe I do have to set it up on the ground. Yeah, I think I have to set it up on the ground and then lift the plastic up in order to feed it in, so that we still have the layout like a computer and do not destroy and waste our efforts making this place look cool. Yeah, I think this is the plan, but unfortunately I think this has to be it. For now this place is running, half-paced, but still quite the accomplishment for today, in my opinion at least. I'm excited for the next one. I'm very excited about how this place will turn out, about how we are able to set up our vehicle self-driving highway. And yeah, as always, thank you very much again for watching. If you have any feedback, any advices, any tips, please let me know. I'm always appreciating the feedback. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next episode.